Hey guys, my name is Matimio, and today I have another episode of Field Test. This is a series where in the comment section you guys vote on a particular loadout that you guys want me to try. I pick from like the top 3, and then I give my thoughts on that one. Essentially what we're trying to do here is to find loadouts that may have gone under the radar and a lot of people may not know about, and just kind of bring them to light. For today's field test, I'm going to be using the SG553 with no optics, the Bipod, heavy barrel, the Magnum sidearm, and RPG, the repair tool, and squad explosives. The person that recommended this said that this is a close quarter to mid-range loadout, and it's great. It has great damage and moderate recoil. So when I first saw that this individual was using the iron sights for the SG553, I was a little skeptical. I'm not really a fan of a lot of the iron sights in this game, but I have to say that I was absolutely wrong with the SG553. These iron sights are unbelievably amazing. When I first saw it, it instantly reminded me of the iron sights from the, I believe it was the MP5 from Modern Warfare, the original Modern Warfare, and I absolutely love that gun in that game. And I know a lot of players don't like it when people compare between games, so like Battlefield and Modern Warfare or the Call of Duty series, but that's exactly how these iron sights look. I mean, they look exactly like that weapon, and I love those iron sights in that game because you could really tell what was around you. It wasn't difficult to track your enemy, and that's exactly the same here with the SG553. It was very easy to stay on target. You could switch between enemies quickly, and it was just overall a fantastic iron sights. If I had to rate these iron sights, they would definitely be in my top 5 for all of the weapons in Battlefield 3. It might even be the best iron sights in the game. That's how much I absolutely love them. So other than the fact that I absolutely love the iron sights for the SG553, this loadout in general was just phenomenal. I really enjoyed it. I'm going to be showing you guys some footage from a Strike at Karkin match where this thing just decimated multiple targets, and it really just excelled in a lot of situations. One thing I was kind of iffy about was the bipod, because I really don't like to use it on a lot of weapons, but what I did before I started using this was to make sure that I bound a key for the bipod so that when I aim down sight and I'm near some sort of, maybe like a railing, my character doesn't try to deploy the bipod, and so that I can be much more selective when I want to use it. And when I did this, it opened up a lot more options that wouldn't have been previously available if I didn't, or I opted for not using any attachment in that slot. And that is something that I kind of opened my eyes to after using this setup, because previously I felt like the bipod was just kind of a nuisance. You would deploy it automatically and it would get you killed for the most part, but when you bind it to a key, it becomes a much more tactical way at approaching a given situation. If you know there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be coming down a corridor, you can deploy the bipod when you want it to and take them out when they round the corner. Or if there's someone way off in the distance, you come up to a railing, you decide when you want to deploy the bipod and not when you just aim down sight. And I really like that about the new system that DICE has employed. And I know that doesn't really necessarily apply to just the SG553, and it applies to any weapon that you're using the bipod, but it really does work for the SG553. It just makes it so that you can approach situations differently and you don't feel like you're encumbered by the bipod, and it really just feels like an extension that will actually help you and is a boon to you in a lot of given situations. Another aspect of this setup that I really enjoyed was how the weapon handled and its recoil. And on paper, this weapon has a higher recoil than, let's say, something like the AKS, but in practice, I really didn't notice much of a difference. Sure, for those long-range shots, it does become a little bit harder to line up your shot and stay on target, but for the most part, I was trying to stay in close or at medium range, and at those distances, this is a very manageable weapon, and I really felt like I was in control, and when I was going for a target, I knew when they were going to fall, I wasn't having to fight the recoil, and I could quickly switch to the next target, and that's something that I really appreciate when I'm using a weapon. Some weapons, they kind of feel sloppy and you never know when the target is going to die, but with the SG553, I really felt like I was in control of every situation that I came in. I knew when the enemy was going to die, and it's just a very nice feeling when you have that sense of control, and I definitely felt it with the SG553. And even though I said this weapon kind of has a difficult time going for those long-range shots, the recoil just makes it a little bit more difficult to stay on target. Because you are using the bipod, if the situation presents itself, all of a sudden that long-range target just became a much more viable option. So overall, the combination of attachments and just the weapon in general, it just is an overall a fantastic setup that excels in a lot of given situations. Another great thing about this loadout is the heavy barrel attachment. I think it really complements the SG553 well. It's going to make you much more effective at medium range engagements. Those targets are going to fall faster, and it's just a nice addition to a setup or to a weapon that already excels at mid-range combat and just makes it much more powerful in those situations. So overall, if you probably already can't tell, I absolutely love this weapon combination. It excels in a lot of given situations and scenarios. The weapon feels fantastic in your hands. You feel like you're in control. And overall, and probably most importantly, it's an absolute blast and a treat to play. And that's something that's, in my opinion, probably the most important thing about a weapon setup. You want to have fun with it, and that's something that the SG553 has in spades. So a lot of you guys wanted me to start giving some advice on how I might improve upon a given loadout at the end of the video, so what attachments I might switch in or out for a given weapon, and I was going to do that for this particular field test video, but to be honest, I think that this is a phenomenal loadout and it really doesn't need any modification. Maybe if you don't enjoy the iron sights, you can switch something like the red dot sight or the cobra sight. That might improve your gameplay a little bit, but really this loadout doesn't need any modification. But that's it for today's field test. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, I would appreciate it if you give this video a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel for more videos. If you would like to submit your own loadout, you can do so by leaving a comment down below, and also make sure to thumbs up the loadout that you guys want me to try next. But until next time, guys, have a good one and take it easy.